And hello, others are joining us. Before I start the meditation, as you requested, Dinesh, I would just like to wait that everybody's settling and maybe more people are joining in. So perhaps we can just take a few deep breaths first and just make ourselves comfortable. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Dinesh, before we get started with the meditation? Now you're muted.
Welcome, Jeff. He's joining us from Costa Rica, and Sudhir. Welcome, Sudhir, from Bangalore.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anything anyone would like to say before we go? Mia leads us into a brief meditation.
Yes, it's great to see your face again, Peter Block.
You are muted, Peter.
Or he's unmuted and the sound isn't coming through.
Really? You can't hear me?
There we go.
Anyway, I said, Aimee, it's nice to have a face, okay? And to be here with you all. I was just thinking, it's nice with the eclipse that something's predictable. And I take comfort in that. Anyway, it's always a joy to be at anything that Dinesh does. I sign that. I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Welcome, Gaurav, and welcome, Sonia, and welcome.
Namaskar and good morning.
Namaskar, Waifon. So with that, Mia, back to you.
Okay, let's get started. And then after this meditation, we will have like free flow sharing. So the rest of the call, and it's going to be 1 hour. So would love to hear from as many of you as would like to speak. Okay. So now I would like to invite us all on a journey into presence. Just make yourself comfortable and close your eyes if that feels good for you. And take a few deep breaths, taking in fresh new energy and breathing out all that is not serving you right now. Sensing the breath moving in and moving out with ease. Allowing your body and mind to relax and become present here and now. And now feel your connection to Mother Earth, breathing in her life force, grounding and nourishing your body. Then tune into your connection to the universe, the sun, moon, the stars. And breathe in the light. Then bring your attention into the heart and breathe through the heart that has the capacity to bring all energy into harmony, the mind, body, and soul. Then tune into your body. How are you feeling here and now? Sense into your body, tuning into different parts of the body. What is the message, the wisdom of your cells for your well-being in this moment?
Are you on mute? Yes, I think.
You are not in mute. And how is your life overall? Where can you recognize the light? And where is the shadow? What could be the gift of the shadow for you? What can you embrace with compassion? What can you let go with love? And now let us become aware of this group field. All of us sitting here together across the globe in a circle. Let us share the love, circling the love from heart to heart and soul to soul. Then let us expand the circle. Imagine that this is a circle of light growing with each breath that we take, expanding until it surrounds the entire earth. Let us hold a space of love for the entire earth, for all living beings. Through the infinite heart of Source that holds all light and shadows in wholeness. And now imagine a world full of happy, healthy, humane, co-creators of a new world. How does it feel? What does it look like? A happy, healthy, humane world that works for all. And here you may let your soul light up the world as your gift to the world now. And now it's time to come back. Just coming back to fully to your body and back to this session. Becoming present. Taking a few deep breaths. And when you feel ready, you may open your eyes. And I will post a question into the chat. Just a moment. It's here for all of us to reflect on.
You can speak, Mia, I'll type it.
It's already here. I just posted it because I wrote it down and copied. So how do you stay happy, healthy, and humane when the world appears to be in turmoil? So you should see it. I hope everybody can see it in the chat. How do you stay happy, healthy, and humane when the world appears to be in turmoil? So just let it stay in your mind and heart for a moment, and I let Dinesh to continue.
Thank you, Mia, for that lovely meditation. I'm going to start with Peter. If you have any insights, your presence itself is blissful, but if you speak, then that adds to that bliss. So any insights you have, Peter?
Very kind. I think that's the right question. And the world has been in turmoil since I've been alive. I was born in the Second World War. Actually, I was 4, 5, 6 years old. And so it's just, the veil has been lifted, at least where I live, my country. And it's difficult. You know, I think it's a great question. And one turmoil during the meditation, I realized that I'm constantly in conversation with myself that are totally useless and repetitive. Who am I explaining myself to? And what difference would it make if somebody listened? And so it was a nice 10 minutes for me to realize that in terms of my own family, my own world, maybe there's nothing much to say. Second thought is us being together has meaning above and beyond what we talk about. It's just the fact we're giving an hour on a Saturday is a political act, and saying maybe connection is the only form of governance that means anything. I also have a mantra: may I be safe, may I be healthy, may I be happy, and may I be at ease. Safe and healthy have worked out for me. Even though the number of years I refuse to say out loud. Happy has always been problematic, and I think happy is not a state of being, it's just a choice I make to be at peace with, and I also been reading about the land that this is hosted by, 450 acres. And I thought how beautiful to have land somewhere off the market. Because a lot of the work I do now is trying to work with vulnerable neighborhoods, and whoever controls the land controls the future, at least economically and operationally. So it's quite beautiful that somebody's decided through 3 generations, as I could tell, maybe 10, to hold this land where children can find out that there's nothing wrong with them. To me, that's the purpose of nature and the purpose of development, is to stop this notion that there's to me, self-improvement is an act of violence. Maybe there's nothing wrong with us. Dinesh has been soul dancing since before I knew him. And I'm happy that he hasn't tried to get better at it. And I think the notion of enough is a powerful stand. Maybe I am enough, maybe we are enough. And then I look at all of you and I think you're worlds in and of yourself. And it's nice that we take this moment just to be together and have nothing to say, but it won't keep us from talking. Period. So let me just stop, and I don't know what you want to pay attention to, but I'm just happy to be here. And it's more important, I also thought, what's going on in the world where the veil has been lifted. I love this quote that they call it the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it. Now that's just my country, but I don't know which country is saying maybe Finland, I don't know. They're the happiest people in the world, but the bar is pretty low. And I just like that idea that the veil is lifted, and I feel maybe the work we are doing is no longer important. Maybe it's essential. Maybe I should take seriously the work I'm doing instead of just being grateful for it. And that's what I've done. And I decided Cincinnati is my world. And so everything I've cared about, I've doubled my effort in Cincinnati. And there's about 5 or 6 groups I support. I'll double my support. It's a project I'm on. Maybe what we're doing is more important than we ever imagined. And those are just thoughts I have. And the other thought is that I've been lucky in a way, because I've never been burdened by the need for results. We've done what we've done, and say, well, how do you measure the outcome? And it's a nice question that I've never taken seriously. There's a woman, Ann Livingston, who works with addicts in Vancouver, and she organized them around what they're good at. And they said, here's a park in Vancouver, would you care for it? And they said, yes. Could we meet together from time to time and talk about what's working for you? Could we invite speakers in? And I asked her, I said, what impact does this have on their addiction? And she said, it's a question I've never asked. And wow, it changed. There's something in that response. She did it for the sake of doing it. And I don't know, it meant a lot to me because I have an addict in my house and my family. And I realize that all I can do is love him and live with him and give up the notion there's anything I can do that's going to make a difference. And I just thought that was profound. But I never asked the question of, are they still an addict? I only asked the question of, what do they do? How can we make their life more tolerable without trying to change it? I don't know all of you, but I would guess that most of you are up to something like that. You know, even if you are Merlin, you still are up to something. Anyway, let me stop talking.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Peter. And I think the 4 words which create my mantra, me, I started with being whole. And so I call it the we are well mantra. And we are whole. And Peter, you said we are enough. That is so powerful. Just saying this mantra every day that we are enough, it begins to change. At least I've noticed change in me, my thinking, my being and doing. And we are light. Uh, uh, when we are in total darkness, no need to go outside, as Rumi points out. We are the light, and we just have to look inward. And we are love, which we all are feeling right now. I'm feeling it very strongly. And this is so interesting. This morning I woke up, and somebody in my family, there was a pot which was totally burned. I mean, this was oats which has overcooked. And 20 years ago, I would have probably responded, said, why do we have to go through this again and again? But today I have such a strong feeling of love for that. You know, there are people, we are humans, we are flawed. We forget sometimes, we get engrossed. And wow, we sometimes burn our pots. And I felt a sense of love as opposed to feeling upset or angry because I had to scrub for 5 minutes to get that all the black and the charcoal out. But it's amazing. I feel how beautiful we humans are, and what kind of stupid things we do, and what kind of smart things we do. And in this whole gamut of beauty and ugliness, I think lies the life and the beauty of life. So I'm just overwhelmed right now. So I'm going to stop here and open the floor for anyone if you want to reflect on that question Mia had asked.
Yeah, can I attempt? Sudhir here.
Please do.
So Dinesh, while we're saying well, whole, enough, and light, I think one thing which makes me comfortable, happy, healthy, and human is to talk to myself that this is the time. Do not wait for the next day or next moment to come. Do your best here and now. I think that itself brings you back, center you back to here and now. And that's where making others happy, making others comfortable makes you happy. And it's a relative reference. You can't be happy if your surrounding is not happy. So I'm just adding that time dimension that normally we waste our time. The good day will come, good time will come, but we miss out the here and now. And maybe I'm thinking this because yesterday I got my farewell from the corporate world. And there I could see, what you get after 35, 36 years of working. When you detach yourself from all the formalities, only thing which comes is all the best wishes which are coming on my mailbox. So Mia, that's where I was trying to attempt your question.
You know, I just thought after 35 years, you got what you deserved. Okay,
Yeah, Peter.
nothing and freedom. Not so bad.
Yeah. And really one thing which I'm reflecting, the role of a leader is quite difficult, or a person who is leading, because you generate so much hope in your people surrounding. So I went to all my 9 locations just to say thank you. And when you look at their eyes and the warmth, it's so difficult, because what I had said maybe 2 years back, a girl is reflecting in front of you. And I said, oh my God, I never imagined that one posture, one gesture, one statement has impacted so many people.
It's so beautiful. Scale is the opposite of everything we long for. One gesture. Wow.
If I may, I'd like to respond to Mia's question. I live in a state of optimism. The dance of creation follows the dance of destruction. It makes all the creation possible. So the world being in turmoil is almost always good news, because better news is coming. I for myself, I feel that I see the world as I am, like Dinesh was saying, that the way you feel is the way the universe appears to you. So I try to cultivate my heart through ritual. I try to cultivate my heart through connecting with satsanga. You know, this a global connection that we have, and I try to connect with my heart in this journey of self-realization. You know, who am I? What am I here for? And what is the work at hand? And that keeps me too busy to worry about the world being in turmoil. It'll always be in turmoil, but it's leading to creation. And that's what gives me meaning and purpose.
I agree with you that I believe that consciousness of the world is evolving. Consciousness is energy. Energy has a frequency. When the frequency speeds up, when consciousness evolves, frequency speeds up to unravel the old for the new to be born. So we're in that space of rebirthing, you know, but we're breaking down. Mostly now we're breaking down. In terms of happiness, you know, there's the ego happiness where I bought a new car. Okay, great. Then there's the happiness that happens from your essence. What I've learned is that my purpose in life is for myself to return to the self, myself returning to true self. That means that my consciousness has to evolve. That means that I experience myself on many different dimensions, that I have many versions of self. And, you know, there's the little Aimee that's cranky and, you know, negative and worried or whatever it is. There's the usual Aimee that, you know, I take care of business. I'm really good. Then there's the extraordinary Aimee that things come out of my mouth I don't even know that I know. And my consciousness, all of a sudden, I'm like awake in consciousness with beyond even my body. What I've learned, because I've had 40 years of energy training from Aikido, is that happiness comes in terms of your alignment to universal energy. So first you have to get out of your head into your mind body. When you ground, right? When you ground, let the energy settle, because everything in the universe is a 2-beat. Energy, the waves come in, the waves go out. The sun rises, sun sets. Energy comes through your system, and we go, oh, that's great, I'm happy, okay? But you have to get the second beat, which is the down, right? And as you go down, what happens is you begin to tap into your roots. Those roots spread. Ooh, now you come up as a bigger version of yourself. You have more of an energetic capacity. So what I've learned is the down, the dark is extremely important. And to be able to hang out there, spread out, don't go into my head and worry about it, trust it, spread out. And what happens is I rise up higher than I thought I could, more into the light. So that's enough for me right now.
I'd like to share. I'm Tom. I'm down in South Florida, and as we're talking about this, how to be happy, healthy in a world in turmoil. For me, I retired about 7, 8 years ago, and that's one of the good things about retirement is you get a chance to sort of step away and focus on meaning and purpose. Why are we here? And for me, as we speak, there's different terms. I use the term for a higher force of God. For me, what brings peace in my life is recognizing that my purpose is to love God, this higher force, which what Aimee, what you were saying, aligning to a universal energy. A different way to frame that is an alignment to God's will. So I try to I believe that there is. So I believe that there is this higher force called God, who is a creator of my life, and who has created me, that in the world of turmoil, to align with His will. And every day, I get the experience that someone will come in my life, or certain things will occur, and I have a choice to show compassion, love, to make it a better world, or not to. So I think there is a shift from that sort of self-centered approach that we're sort of conditioned, me first, to this alignment to higher power, which is really driven by love and compassion. This shift from self to God, for me, it does come down to love and compassion there. And if I can get into that space, so the second is that it is helpful to have a community of like-minded people who feel or share that particular approach to living in life, to purpose. That when you're among people like we are today, as we share our stories, there is a strength. There's a feeling of just a sense of we're not in it alone. That there's camaraderie. So this community of like-minded people is a real key. So and the third is what are the practices that I can each day I try to come up with how I start the day. Being gratitude and thankfulness for all that is going to come, has come, and is coming. But this idea that there are certain practices in a world in turmoil, like Mia was doing for us. Her guided contemplation there was really helpful in settling down in a world in turmoil and being in a space where there was peace and there was real compassion and love that we were part of. So trying to better understand this set of practices there. So that's been my experience there.
I'd love to follow on. Thank you, Tom. The 3 points you make remind me of the 3 jewels of Buddhism. Buddha, or let's say higher power. Sangha, I'll reorder them a bit. Sangha, the community of like heart-minded people. Dharma, which can include path and practices. And indeed, the wisdom of 2,500 years ago stands strong today. I would add, because I'm fond of quotes sometimes, a wonderful quote from the Berkana Institute. Exactly who said it, I don't know. If a system lacks health, connect it to more of itself. Aimee, self, true self. And I think about the world in turmoil, and I think about how humanity is dancing with life and has hopefully been learning something in the process. And I get that, in fact, we are. And that life knows what she is doing. And as we connect more with life and we connect more with our self and our true nature, then healing occurs. So one way to be happy and healthy and humane during these times is to connect. So Peter, since I'm in quote mode, maybe connection is the only form of governance that really matters. And I'm cheering, and I feel like maybe you're horrified that something has just been memorialized and perhaps codified, but nevertheless, wisdom speaks in many voices.
I love the one lines, even if they're mine. But I feel like they're tattoos of the mind. And I can capture transformational moments in my life by a sentence. And I just love the fact that you have shared with us some sentences that mean something to you. And who knows where they came from. I keep, sometimes I write books and I keep editing them, and I'm saying the same thing now that I have for the last. And what's changed is now I almost know what I was talking about, and so the sentence you hold forever, and it gets deeper and deeper, and you realize, oh my God, there's something in that. And thank you. And it's strange to know that your life has meant something. It's much easier to wonder what more you could have done. And I find it now that mine is, I don't know if I'm in the fourth quarter or in overtime, okay? But I think, well, maybe it did mean something. And I find that very difficult to live with. I'm glad, okay, I'm not ungrateful. The other thought I had was I like the word faith instead of optimism. Optimism says things are going to get better. And in Aimee's two-beat world, and Jung's notion, when the snake comes to you in the night, swallow it. The shadow, the dark is necessary. I don't know how long it's going to last. But I like the notion that I've always had faith that there's something. And I just thank you, Aimee, for the quote of two-beat world. I love that. They're short words. And I kind of know what you're talking about, maybe. Anyway, thank you. Natasha, you just joined us. Thank you. Glad you're here.
Thank you. Such a blessing. I just saw the rainbow when I came in after the swimming lesson of my 5-year-old. And while she takes a rest, as I'm listening, happy, it's one of the things I'm teaching affirmations and practicing with her. So before we go to sleep, how do we come to a peaceful state, even for a 5-year-old, because they're processing so much. And I realized for me, the biggest is the practice. Because no matter what I say, children don't necessarily listen, but they're in your presence. And I'm learning that as a parent, and I feel so blessed after being a consultant and coach and all those hats that the ego puts on. But now just being with her, being with my breath, one of the practice that I love to share with fellow friends who are parents of 5-year-olds is we've created a family tree. And just to honor our ancestors, to honor that which brought us over here, knowing there was light and shadow, and she's learning about history. And I'm like, yeah, history can be harsh, but we are here to bring our own light into the world. And to have these conversations with a 5-year-old is pretty humbling, pretty magical. and I'm grateful for the practice. Thank you, everybody.
I remember when my children were young and I would watch them sleeping, and I never felt as much peace. Beautiful. Now they're old, they're 59 and 60 years old, and I find them much less interesting.
I've been reading something lately that interests me, and I don't know whether it'll interest the group here. The thing that I've been reading is reality that happens, everything that happens, all the turmoil that we talk about in the world, is all that happens is God's will. So the reality that we experience now every day, everything that happens is God's will, and it's for us to have a trust in that higher power, a trust that all will be well. It's all going to work out, but there's a certain humility that's required there, I think, as a practice that we probably cannot change the world. I think I figured that out after a long time. So I think the practice of humility, I think it makes it easier to align with God's will and to try and be some positive force to do what that will is for us. It's also, I think, Peter, what you were saying of faith. The faith that there's a faith. There's some things going on that I can't really figure out, but I'll go with it. I can control love and love and compassion. I can control it. Love and compassion for me is in fact a gift from God. It's something that I cannot. I have limitations on how much I can love, but when I know that in my life where love has come from some source, there's those special moments of connecting. It makes for a really rich life, even in turmoil, even in difficult times. That's that experience there. So I've been reading about this and thinking and sort of trying to just embrace this reality, this mess that we're in, and just saying, hey, this is a higher force. I was created to play a role in it, in not to make it worse, but to align to whatever goodness there is there. And that's where I think it goes into love and compassion.
I have the word will is a funny word. And it's not like God decided I will create violence. I don't think so. I think God may be the source of it. And Walter Brueggemann became a friend of mine, who's an Old Testament scholar. And he believed that God was evolving also, which I like. It allowed me to participate instead of just receive. And I asked him once, I said, what about Cain and Abel? It seemed kind of violent. A brother would kill each other. He said, God is still in recovery from that mistake. I don't know, it softened something for me to realize that there's a mystery, and name it what you want. And anyway, thank you.
Yeah, I think the I love this thing of connection. I'm right with you with connection. I've learned that the formula for evolving consciousness was awareness plus here-ness or presence. That creates the skillful action or the transformation. I think what happens, though, is that we tend to stay in awareness and we forget about the embodiment piece. But it's like you don't really know what chocolate ice cream is until you experience it. It's the experiencing of it that leads, that I think is really important for that transformation. Most of the time, what we do is, I love gratitude stuff. I do that too. And, I meditate, I do all that stuff, right?
Oh.
What I've learned is that we have it backwards. We think we have to do something else in order to get to that state of happiness and health and all of that. I have to do one more thing in a busy schedule. I don't think that's it. I think that what we have to do is stop doing that, which is separating us from our natural state of happiness and health and all of it. So that's the, you find yourself in your head, you're thinking. Yes, cancel, easy. Let it settle, you get upset because you watch the news and you feel yourself losing your power and you can't influence, you can't control anything. Easy. Come back to center, feel your back, have that support of the universe again, make sure you have your feet grounded, or else you, like a hurricane force wind, if you're not grounded, you're going to get swept away. Right. So that's all I have to say.
We have about 10 minutes. And one of the habits is we wait till something's over to talk about what it meant to us. Dinesh, thank you for convening us. It was great. And I think, what am I waiting for? And I thought maybe we could spend this 10 minutes with each of you saying what's touched you, what gift have you received as a result of us being together for 50 minutes. Now, I'm just saying that because we don't have to do that. But I just think there's something about every time we come together to share what it has meant to us before we part. And just a thought.
Something that was said that I really, I'm going to try to meditate on is it was about the let's say I'm looking for my notes here, but let's see, the dance, it was the dance creation followed by the dance of this, sort of like there's yet you have destruction, chaos, or so, followed by the stance of creation. That it's at any one point in time, things could be bad, but it's that hope that and belief and faith that it's going to be better. And so that's something that I resonated with me.
Tom, I remember you coming to Dharamshala, and Peter talked earlier about the auspiciousness of the place, how some places are just wonderful, and also the connections. So I am more and more encouraged to continue this kind of sessions as satsang or gatherings or meeting, because that kind of energizes me even more. And we are also thinking of building a community where we can live, like-minded people come live together. In Orlando, we are thinking one, and in Bay Area, we are thinking one, and one I'm thinking of building in Dharamshala. So in July, if you're ready to go back, Tom, and Peter also, and all of you, anybody who would like to go back to Dharamshala, Tom was there with us, and Peter has been there. And Peter actually was looking for his cave. in one lifetime. And so we are planning to have a leadership retreat. We haven't thought about the details and the format, but we used to do transformational leadership there. And I realized that I have led most of my life in transaction. Even though we called it transformational leadership, so now only 30 years later, Peter, I'm beginning to understand the difference between transactional life and transformational life. It was just a word. But just to give you an example, in this conversation, uh, again, it was transformative because it just took me more stronger belief that yes, we can do that community of like-minded people and we can have more conversations like that, which is what makes me come fully alive. I'm feeling very alive in this moment and very connected. So, and of course, in the flow. So, how can I live my life in this? And that's what is coming to me. That's how this conversation touched me.
Could I have a request to make that you bring together strangers instead of like-minded people. And if they show up, there's nothing to worry about. But the notion that like-minded, the word, I don't know, anyway, period, sorry, my own little thing about, I think what you all represent is the welcoming of strangers. And anybody who enters your world, I know that you welcome them. Even if they come in kicking and scratching. I don't want to be here, I was sent here, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The fact they're in your presence. Anyway, sorry. For me, I don't know. I've loved listening to your speaking. There's such love and soulfulness and softness and feminine power and generosity, and each of you is a context that I got to live into for a few minutes this morning. And I'm just so grateful for that. And it's interesting, it doesn't matter what you say, what you talk about, each of us is translated in our own terms, you know, the two-beat world. But I don't know, what a beautiful hour, thank you.
Your comments inspire me, Peter, to observe that the answer to the question, how do you stay happy? How do we stay happy, healthy, and humane when the world appears to be in turmoil? Some of you are shaking your heads. You see the punchline is this, which also reminds me of a rather well-known book. The answer to how is yes. So we've said yes, we've shown up, and we've shared deeply. I so appreciate the mutual enrichment, the deepening, the elevation that is occurring as we gather, and will continue to reverberate and ripple beyond our gathering and time together.
And Peter, while I was listening, last few minutes, I was just looking at what's in it. And one thing which really comes, it's absolutely with you. You are in control. You are the person who make it happen. You don't have to look outside. And I think, and this resonates with the grandson, my 14 years old. He is happy, he is healthy, he is humane. Maybe human, he doesn't know what that means, but he can connect. And exactly what we all have been articulating, he is doing that. So it's again going back to the basics.
Your
I think
job
we
is to know who he is. I worried with my children how they would turn out. I wish I just paid attention to who they were. My 5-year-old.
yeah.
And now, if you really care about him, you'll take him out of school. You'll take him out of institutional life. and have him sit with you for a year or so. But that's not going to happen. But thank God he's got you as a grandfather.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, just to respond to the question, what this gathering does is it gives me a soft place to land. It's enriching to be with people who are evolving themselves in order to evolve the world. I just recently started something called the Women's Mastery Institute because I believe that it's women, no offense, guys, but it's going to be women who bring us into a more compassionate, equitable, and united world. But women don't have the self-confidence that men have. So my hope is to be able to empower them to be that. I want to thank you all for being here, but I want to specifically thank Peter Block because you changed my life for the better. I've known you for years. The gifts that you gave me, the way that you opened my mind and my heart connected with you, it's been truly a gift, and I thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Aimee.
I love that. Speaking of gifts, when I saw the rainbow, I thought of you, Mia. She's been my coach, mentor, friend for more than 10 years now. And I just saw the rainbow. I'm like, oh, solar eclipse. Oh, let's go up quickly. I've got a call to attend. So it's really about noticing reaction vis-a-vis response for me, moment to moment. And it's a response that I choose, knowing that I've really spent quality time. And now it's a response to be here, Dinesh, to walk each other home. And I love being here. I'm seeing over here just the beauty. Aimee, I'm seeing you're meeting you for the first time. Your hair is like standing out. And right next to you is Jeff, and his hair is down, you know. I'm noticing the black and the white hair and the red and the black caps and glasses and non-glasses. And in that, it's just, that is, of course, the surface. But we start, in order to go deep, I believe, from just being here, breathing in, listening to all of you and seeing all of you, knowing that the next time I'm going to remember when I need you the most. Thank you, everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You're a poet.
Oh, thank you, Natasha. You are really a poet. I also enjoy so much to listen and listen also to the silence of our connection as well as the words. And each one of us is like it's like the diamond. We are just showing the different beautiful light and shadows and light and those jewels of the self, which is just the self expanded as we, and all these paradoxes. I love paradoxes because it's like this destruction and creation and light and shadow, and whatever we really want to make happen, we really have to let go of that. And that's something that just to be present, if we want to change something, to start with just being present and letting go of trying to change it. And life is just full of paradoxes. And when we truly are present with all that, I believe that that is the enlightenment. And thank you all for really showing the different aspects of this truth. And I also love the thing that no like-minded, because truly at the moment when the world stops looking for like-minded people and is present with everything and everyone, then we don't have any more wars. So, or then we go as deep as possible to see that like-mindedness, which is at the core of everyone, that love, or whatever we want to call it. So there is that likeness. So thank you.
Gaurav, translate for us.
So this is from old Hindi, and the translation is at the bottom, which is all the pleasures of heaven and even the highest states of salvation cannot equal a moment of the pleasure of the company of sages. So thank you for all this unaccountable, unmeasurable pleasure of your company, Dinesh, Peter, Mia, Aimee, and everybody else.
Thank you. I didn't see that. There's a company of sages. And maybe whatever room we're in is a meeting of sages.
Dinesh, you're on mute.
I want to acknowledge Ian also, who couldn't be here today, and he was here in our last meeting. And he sent a message which I want to read out to you all. And he said, timing is critical in any venture, and the timing for a well-being organization which demonstrates kindness, integrity, strong content, wisdom, and simple practice could not be better than now. We have entered a global context of cruelty, delusion, bigotry, disrespect, inaptitude, and violence. And we are witnessing the most grotesque transfer of wealth and power that the world has ever seen. Well-being, purpose, and authenticity require courage in times like these, and if promoted effectively and clearly, will be welcomed by those who aspire to higher ground. And this group is effectively and clearly inspiring me to a much better place today. So from my heart, I want to thank you all. And we will continue these dialogues every Saturday like we used to do before, about a couple of years ago. And those of you who can join us on Zoom and in person in Dharamshala or wherever we meet in Kennelin camps or in Orlando, we'll keep you in the loop and keep you informed. Before we sign off, one word of how you're feeling.
Since I didn't say anything during the meeting, this is Yash showing up, I think, as wife phone. So my word is curious, because whatever you guys shared is making me take, kind of rethink my reaction to the world's events. Yeah, I would say I want to kind of rethink and say, hey, what is the line between non-reacting, accepting? I mean, all those are great concepts. Or, should I not do anything and say, this is God's will, I'm an atheist, so that is probably not going to work for me. But, maybe it is, but we can say, as I think someone said, and I sometimes say, you don't appreciate light unless you live in total darkness for a while. So maybe it is one of those periods. Anyway, that's more than a word. So
Thank you so much, Yash.
Yeah, my word is gratitude. I've had Dinesh, my experience with you has been, especially with Dharmasala and your leadership there and what you're doing with well-being is I'm grateful for what you've done personally for me and what you're doing for everyone else.
Any other
Thank
word?
you. There are a lot of words in the chat, so I thank you for all of those words. And thank you all.
Thank you,
And have a
everyone.
beautiful day.
Beautiful day, and see you next Saturday.
Take care. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See ya.